Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews, where today we're checking out a 2007 Great Harbour N47 trawler yacht. This one was up for sale for $599,000 and lying in Jacksonville, Florida. And Great Harbour still make the N47 series today, but this is actually hull number 1. She's been extremely well looked after over the years and had tasteful upgrades along the way too. She measures in at 53 feet in length. She's got a beam of 16 feet. She's got a draft of approximately 3 feet, but she's got a bridge clearance of 15 feet. So it means she's perfect if you want to tackle the Great Loop. She's capable of a cruising speed of around 7 knots, and at that speed you're going to get a range of around 3,000 nautical miles. You only have to stop once for fuel if you want to tackle the loop. And as you can see, the sports tender is mounted on the bathing platform on these strong davits. That's going to make it really easy for transport and not have to worry about towing, but it also frees up space on the flybridge. And there's multiple boarding points to get on board, which is really helpful, not only just alongside dock here, but if you ever want to go through lock gates. And you'll notice there's a door at the lower helm, and this is a split door. I'll show you that better from the inside. But again, that's going to make it really easy, especially if you're doing single-handed operations. And the bow has got a very clear layout to it. And what the owners have actually been doing is, if you notice at the bottom of the handrail, you'll see that there's like rod holders, and they put this canopy enclosure up, and then you can also put all sorts of seats and tables around there, and it just makes a really nice spot for socialising with friends and family whenever you're at anchor. And speaking of anchor, if we go all the way up to the bow, you'll see this one's got an electric windlass, but she's actually got 2 anchors installed. And each anchor has approximately 300 feet of chain. And as I pan the camera around, you'll see again just how clear that deck space is. But if you were to lower that bimini top and the radar arch, you'll also agree that this has got a low air draft too. I like the fact that there's solid handholds for making your way to the bow and back, and you always feel safe and secure. You've got storage in front of those windows. There's even a deck wash system installed on board. And plenty of room up here for socialising and entertaining family and friends, but you could also do a spot of fishing up here too. Deck's very clear, all the fittings are all to the sides, that way you don't trip on anything. And then I'll make my way back to the aft cockpit, but as you do, you'll notice there's a bunch of solar panels that's installed on board. And other upgrades include the lithium house bank batteries. And as you make your way around to the aft cockpit, you've got your grille that's mounted up there. You see there's easy access down to that tender with a gap in the middle. There's a solid hatch on the deck that's going to lead to the lazarette, but also give you access to all your steering gear. And then I'll take you up to the flybridge, because I was really impressed with the layout of this one. This one does have a bimini enclosure, it's just not currently installed. And then you'll see all the solar panels up overhead, but these are able to drop down. So that way you can undo these. Everything's mounted on hinges and pins, including the radar arch. So if you are worried about bridge clearance, if you are looking at doing something like the Great Loop, you don't have to worry with this one. And the flybridge has got plenty of seating for your family and friends to join you. You've also got that folding cockpit table in the middle. There's storage underneath the seats. So I'm going to guess you're probably going to get 3, maybe 4 people on either side. You've got the central helm location, and then you've got a seat either side of the helm too. And I like the fact that the helm's pretty much dead centre on board. So if you are looking at going through the lock gates or doing your close quarter manoeuvring, you get great visibility all round. And it's a very easy boat to manoeuvre and maintain. She's got twin diesels, but this one's also been upgraded that she's got both bow and stern thrusters. There's also electronics for up here, so that way if you want to use it for cruising and not just close quarter manoeuvring, you've got that ability as well. And throughout the boat it's got that non-slip deck material, and it works really well. But once you step inside, that's where this one really comes into its own. Just look at that layout for the accommodation. Those big bright windows. Most of the windows are actually opening as well, so you can get fresh air. Plenty of headroom in here. Very comfortable seating arrangement. And this seating on the starboard side has got storage underneath as well. And they've all got that push button lock mechanism. so that nothing's going to open when you're underway. And then to port, you're going to see that although we do have storage underneath the seats, we've also got a cockpit table here, and that opens up and expands, so that way you can also raise and lower it too. And again, you're going to fit easily 3 or 4 adults here in comfort. And they are still making the N47, although it's now been rebranded as the N50. And you'll see here the price tag starts at around 1.3 million. So if you're buying this one, you're looking at less than half price compared to a similar replacement. But before we move forward, I also want to show you this really neat storage access area. If you're looking at doing liveaboard cruising, doing a great loop, something similar, storage is always a premium. But just look at the amount of space you've got down here. Also notice how dry the bilges are while I'm down here. But this is where you're going to find most of those lithium batteries, especially all the solar panels that's been installed. But you can put different things in here for storage. You can put totes in here, boxes in here. I've even seen people on the N47, they put folding bikes down here. You can put engine spares. You can put groceries. You can put all sorts of things. It's easily accessible, but it's also out of the way whenever you don't need it. Even some fishing gear in here as well. It's a fantastic setup, and it really is amazing how much storage space that they've got on a boat of this size. And then as we move further forward, I like the fact that opposite the helm, we've also got this navigation station. I picture this as a husband and wife team, and I like the fact that you've got seats on either side. As I mentioned before, this one's got the split door. And at the helm, you've got a very comfortable seat where you can either stand and cruise, but you can also pull this up and sit down as well. Upgraded electronics. And then you've got the drop-down TV as well, which you can obviously lift up and lock away if you are underway. You get your Fusion stereo, your Garmin VHF, you get your autopilot, and all the electronics are integrated with each other, including the multifunction displays. And as much as I've got no issue with the electronics here, you see all the hinges on that woodwork. That's because this drops down, so if you ever do need to replace or upgrade, it's easy enough to do. And speaking of upgrades, look at all the remote controls that come with this one. You can operate the autopilot, you can operate the bow thrusters and the stern thrusters that's installed. So you can pretty much control the boat from anywhere on board. Again, this is ideal if you're going to do single-handed cruising. And I just like the woodwork finish that's throughout. It's really well maintained, but it's that bright colour and it doesn't feel dark and claustrophobic. And speaking of not being dark, imagine cruising where you can just split this open and let some light and fresh air in. But then obviously being a split door, you can obviously open the door fully, especially when you're going to be doing your close quarter manoeuvring. If this was my boat, I'd always aim at berth and starboard side too, whether that meant bow in or stern in. But it'd be the easiest way to do it. You've then got all your AC, DC controls underneath, all your breaker panels and toggle switches. And it is both AC and DC because there's a 13 kilowatt generator installed. So lots of tasteful upgrades over the years, and she presents very well. As I mentioned, that drop down TV, it's easy enough to lift up, you can lock it into place. And that obviously gives you clear view into that middle window. And then to port, if you want to do your paper charts, if you want to do your logbooks, things like that, you've got plenty of space. You've also got storage underneath. A very comfortable seating here, and you've even got push button locking in the drawers. And I'll take you into the lower accommodation. And this is when Great Harbour comes into its own. On the port side, you've got a nice seating area. Very comfortable seats. You've got a large table there as well. This does drop down if you want it to, and it converts into a berth. It's got lock and storage underneath too. There's also storage in the deck itself. You can lift those hatches up. You've got access to the bilges, but the bilges are always clean and dry on here. You can easily put different totes in there too. Opening portholes, again both light and ventilation. And even this far forward I still have no issues with headroom. Hatch overhead too. But then look at this galley. Tell me this doesn't look like a kitchen out an apartment rather than a galley on a yacht. If you're going to be doing full-time liveaboard cruising, this is the sort of thing you want to have. Plenty of space up there in the countertops, plenty of storage. You get your microwave oven, you get your toaster oven, you get your electric stove top. And then down below, I really like how camouflaged this is. You would think it was just a regular drawer, but it's actually a dishwasher. Double sink, more opening portholes, and then you got your full height American fridge freezer with a water and ice maker in the front. So all your favourite meals, regardless of where you're cruising, you can prepare on board. And it gets even better on this side, because in one section you've got additional storage. This one's primarily been used for drinks and refreshments. But as you move further forward, you'll find that you've got full laundry facilities on board. There's a washer and a dryer. One's installed on one side and one's installed on the other. But that way you're always going to have your clean clothes, clean towels, fresh linens, no matter where you go. And between having that generator installed to solar panels, you get 300 gallons of water capacity, you get 1300 gallons of fuel and 200 gallons holding tank capacity. Everything on board is fully accessible regardless of where you're at. In this heads compartment, you see you get a separate shower compartment. This currently has a dehumidifier hooked up. And then you got your toilet and your sink. You got storage for your toiletries and personal belongings, and that mirrors kind of like a medicine cabinet where it pops out too. Opposite, you're going to find the guest cabin. You get a twin berth, again opening portholes. Plenty of artificial light in this cabin as well. TV mounted up in the bulkhead. There's drawers underneath the bed, but there's also storage at the end of the bed. And in this case, I've used a lot of that for your safety apparatus, your life jackets, things like that. And there's more storage on this side as well. But check out the owner's stateroom. It's absolutely massive. To begin with, you've got this area which would easily be used as a vanity station. And as I walk in, you start to get a glimpse of just how much headroom they've got. Again, you've got another sink here. The bed is easily accessible. I love the island bed layout. That way it doesn't matter what side you're on. But look at all the storage, lockers, drawers and cabinets. Even you've got bookcases mounted up on here as well. Then you've got an area that would double up as a desk. Fire up the laptop. Take a note of everything that you're doing in your travels. But look how big the storage is. It's not just a matter of having storage, it's how accessible it is, how deep it is. If you want to call this one your home, no issues at all. Again, look at the condition of the woodwork. It's been well maintained over the years. And even corner units like this, if they can utilise space, they convert it into storage, it's been done. And then you got your lights overhead, but you do have that hatch as well. And you've pretty much got a symmetrical design for the most part, so you've got easy access on both sides of the cabin. And you got another flat screen TV up here as well. And being that this is the owner's stateroom, this one's fully en suite. And you got your separate shower compartment. It's a really big shower area, so there's plenty of room in there to enjoy that shower. You've got a little bench there if you wanted to use that rather than stand up. And then you've got your separate toilet. And then I'll take you into one of the best features that the Great Harbour trawlers for all the models have. And that's the fact that you've got walk-in engine room access. So if you want to do series cruising and you're concerned about engine maintenance and things like that, name another boat of this size where you get such easy access to the engines. Now the engines themselves are a pair of Yanmar, they're 4JH4TE. They're approximately 75 horsepower each and around 4,200 hours on the clock. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to cruise at around 7 knots, maximum speed's about 8.5, but at cruise you should expect around 3,000 nautical mile range. Everything's been well thought out and well laid out. You've got the sea chest here. Again, look at how dry the bilges are. There's no signs of anything, whether that's water, oil or fuel. You get your battery bank on the other side, but you get easy access to both sides of the engine on both engines. So it doesn't matter what sort of maintenance or upgrades or repairs you're looking at doing, it is so easy to do on this. And being Yanmars, it's also easy to get spares and reach out to mechanics while you're cruising. All your filters, things like that, are easily accessible. There's even a fuel polishing system installed. Plenty of storage for all your cleaners and fluids. And plenty of ventilation too. You can get all those fumes out of here. And then look at all the insulation that we have. I bet you when this one's under power, it's very quiet, but it's also very cool in here, relatively speaking. I'd like to thank Joe for the opportunity to come on board and share this one with you. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you can leave a comment down below. I'm also going to leave a link to the Yacht World listing in the description, but I'll also leave a link to the Great Harbour's website. You can check that out for yourself. And I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.